Welcome to another video from Shoreline Ebikes. My name is Isaac, this is Nev, and today we're going to be doing another video for one of our brands. In this case, we're going to be talking about Gazelle Ebikes. With that said, why don't we go ahead and get started. Nev, what are some of the most common questions that you get in our test center related to Gazelle Ebikes?
When a customer comes in looking for a Gazelle bike, I know they usually have done some research and they know some of the history of Gazelle. It is a very old company. They have been around for 127 years building bikes. So we usually, add on to that history and explain to them, how Gazelle is different from other brands.
And that is a very good point, because I think the brand has always been very popular in Europe and always, and now becoming very popular in the US as well. And I think when you look at the history, that translates to bicycles and e-bikes, because in Europe they have also regular standard bicycles that have very high standards in terms of quality. Another thing that we see here in the US, and it's something that we mention to our customers, these bikes are all about the geometry of the frame. I think when you sit and you ride a Gazelle for the first time, I think the first impression we get from our customer is how comfortable this bike feels. And I think all that goes back to how many years they've been producing these bikes and how they have dialed in the frames where they're almost perfect. Can you tell me a little bit more about how the brand and what is from a dealer perspective, what is our perception as to how the brand is evolving?
So we know that Gazelle has always worked to perfect the geometry of their bikes. However, this year we have seen some movement towards the transmission with a belt drive, the Enviola transmission, which are really great additions, and our customers really do like those options.
And I think that's very important to notice. I mean, their transmissions, including a belt drive, which is something that our customers are always requesting from, at least from the brands that we carry. And they have these type of transmissions available already in Europe, but this is the first year that they are bringing that to the US. And I think now they have some models that are very similar when it comes to technology to other brands such as Reese and Mueller.
Let's talk about the model lineup that Gazelle offers.
We can group Gazelle current lineup into 3 different categories. I think they're very well known for their comfort step-through frames that are designed to ride in a very upright position, right? And then 2 is more the sportive model, where they have full frame bikes with class 3 motors, high-speed motors that are designed for commuters. These bikes offer a more active riding, but they also have some bikes that are in between, where they're not offer you a completely upright position and comfort, and they're not very sportive and very agile, but it's in between. And those will be some of the models like the Medeo, where you still get a bike that has a very good agility when you're riding in the road, but you're not fully leaning forward and you're not fully upright. So I think they have a bike or bikes that cover different needs. So now that we have talked about the current lineup and we have grouped them into 3 different categories in terms of riding, why don't we talk a little bit more in detail about their current models?
So in that easy category that you mentioned, I would think of the Ultimate lineup, and the Ultimate lineup has been very popular for us here in the store. A lot of people do find that kind of bike very attractive because of the easy access. You can also put panniers and load up the groceries in the back and not have to, kick your leg over. The easy access certainly makes it a very attractive option.
So this year with the Ultimates, they are offering different versions, and you do have the option to select different transmissions.
Right.
So why don't we discuss that a little bit more?
So there's 3 bikes in the Ultimate lineup. There's the Ultimate T10, which is your chain and derailleur setup. And then you have the Ultimate C8, which has a belt drive with a Nexus Shimano gear hub.
And the Nexus Shimano gear hub, that is an A-gear system?
Correct, it's an 8-speed system. And it also has the Bosch Active Line motor, which is really great for the city riding. It's very quiet, it's comfortable. So the Ultimate C380 has been a very popular option this year for us. It has the Enviola gear hub, similar to what one of the transmissions that Riese Mueller offers. It is an excellent gear hub in terms that it doesn't require any maintenance. The belt is also in the same category. It really doesn't require any maintenance. It's clean, it's quiet. It's a very, very good system, but also with that Bosch Active Performance motor.
I think one of the most important items you mentioned is about the belt not requiring a lot of maintenance, and from a service perspective is something that we see that lasting for many years in most of the cases. And I think here where we are in Florida, especially in Sarasota, there is a lot of sand in the streets, so the belt becomes something that a lot of our customers are asking for nowadays. And I think I will say 95% of our current inventory are bikes that have a belt or have a belt option.
Let's talk about Gazelle's active lineup.
There are a few models that are grouped into what we call the active lineup. But I think in general, these bikes offer you a slightly more dynamic riding experience, and they are ideal for commuting and longer rides. And they come also in low to mid to high step. They usually have a front suspension. They have more comfort-oriented grips. And they have more powerful motors. Instead of just having the active line, you also have the option to have the performance line Bosch motors. I think a good example of this is the Medeo, where you can have multiple configurations from a high speed to a mid-step frame, but also have full front suspension. I think that's a bike that falls, a perfect example that falls within that category.
Let's also talk about Gazelle's more sporty rides.
We have several models, but I think before I go into the detail, I do want to mention that these are the most popular e-bikes in our store, because now we're talking about class 3 bikes, which assist you up to 28 miles an hour. I think within this group you will have the Medeo T10 is a perfect example, as well as the T10 Plus, as well as the Ultimate T10 and the T10 Plus. And what you're getting, aside from bikes that are a class 3, you're getting usually a higher grade brakes that gives you a better stopping power, but you also get a more aggressive position when you're riding.
One of the things that I want to mention also about Gazelle is that they have excellent customer service within the US. The bikes are built in the Netherlands, however, they are very present in the US market.
Thank you for watching another video from Shoreline Ebikes. I hope we answered some of your questions. Stay tuned and subscribe to our channel.